Intermittent fasting for women over 50. Is it safe for you? Is it going to mess up your hormones? Is it going to work? Can you do it? I am going to talk to you about that today. I have been fasting since 2017. It's helped me lose fat. It's helped me balance my hormones. It's helped me heal inflammation, given me energy, and also it has improved my spiritual life. All those things just from intermittent fasting and bringing that into a lifestyle that I live every day. Let me give you how to start, the best schedule for you, and some tips that you can ease into it. Okay, the first thing is why I have stopped dieting and I'm intermittent fasting, because it is so easy. You can begin intermittent fasting without even changing your diet. Intermittent fasting becomes all about when you eat, not what you eat. And when you focus on that, the diet sort of falls into place. But when you eat. So fasting is very easily just picking a schedule for you. Picking a time of the day that you're going to eat and a time you're going to fast. Pick it, stick to it, be consistent, and start building that fasting muscle so that you will be successful long term. And it will become a lifestyle, and you can say goodbye to that diet mentality that, am I going to follow this diet? Do I have to stick to this diet? I'm going to follow this diet until I lose the weight, and then I'm going to go back to eating normally. We cannot do that because you will go back to where you were before. You need to build a lifestyle. And fasting is one of the quickest, easiest ways to fat loss and healing that I know of. It's natural, it's free, and anybody can do it. Fasting is for everybody. Let's start with, why does intermittent fasting work for midlife? First of all, like I said, your mind is clear. You don't have to worry about sticking to a certain diet when you begin. You want to just build up your fasting muscle. You want to get it so it's a habit, so it's part of your everyday life. And with that, what it does is, as you start to fast, even without changing your diet, but having those hours where your body is actually resting, allowing your insulin to come down, having no food at all, it starts to tap into your fat stores, so you start to lose fat. It starts to help bringing down the insulin, so it helps to balance your hormone. You start to think clearer. You have more energy. You start to sleep better. This is all without changing your diet. Now, I'm not going to say that you can eat whatever you want and fast and you're all set. I'm saying to begin with fasting, get into that rhythm, and then you can address your diet. There are things you can do with your diet to help it be a little easier to be able to do your fasting. But if you work on fasting and you get that down, it makes everything else sort of fall into place. So pick a window. How long are you going to fast? Are you going to fast 16 hours and eat 8 hours? Then start there and do it and be consistent and protect your fast. Make sure you're fasting clean, just water, black coffee, black tea. And then in your eating window, eat what you want. Eat a couple meals. Try to stay away from snacking. Do it that way. Build that. And once you get used to that, you'll say, okay, I can do this, because out of those 16 hours, usually you're sleeping 8 of them. So a couple hours at night before you go to bed, a couple hours in the morning, or skip breakfast. You can easily do 16-8. You can work up to it. You don't have to do it all at once. You can work up to it. Nobody's watching over your shoulder. Nobody's going to check off grading. You do what you want and you work up to it, and you make a goal and you work up to it. Once you get that fasting window, that 16-8, or whatever you decided to start out with, then you can start to tweak and add some longer fasts in, move it around according, if you're still having your cycle, you got to adjust it maybe according to your cycle, but you work with you. It's an individual lifestyle, and it's built around you, your life, your family, what your needs are, how your body runs. It's very individual. I can give you guidelines and I can give you suggestions, but it really comes down to N of 1. You're the experiments, and you're working with yourself to build a lifestyle so that you don't have to diet again. You don't have to go searching again how to lose fat or how to fix this, how to get more energy, how to balance your hormones. You can learn it for you, and it begins with starting with fasting window. Make sure you're fasting so much time in a day to give your body a chance to balance, to heal, to detoxify, and to burn fat. And the second thing is, you want the fasting hours to be as easy as possible. And how do you make those hours easy? Now, sometimes when you start fasting, you think 16-8, that to fast 16 hours, that's a long time. And when I first came to this idea of fasting, 16 hours was like a lot. And I remember after doing 16 hours thinking, wow, I've accomplished something. It really helps to build your confidence, because you realize You can do things. You can do things that seem hard or sound hard. And once you step into it, start taking that action towards the fasting, you start to realize just how strong and capable you are. I started fasting for the 16 hours. Yes, sometimes I struggled with hunger. It was more of a mental thing. It was time to eat. My body was telling me it was time to eat. And before I would just, okay, my mind says it's time to eat, I'll eat. Well, I decided I wasn't going to let my mind just go off with my thoughts and control it. I was going to control it myself. So I set a timer. I used an app on my phone. I used the Zero app and I timed my fast. And when I got to 16, then I could eat. But how did I make that easier was I learned through trial and error that I had to make sure I was drinking enough water. I had to make sure I was keeping hydrated, even when I was eating, but especially my fasting. I had to make sure I had enough water. Sometimes we mistake thirst for hunger. So making sure I got enough water, making sure I was getting minerals, electrolyte, because those help you keep energy. They help keep fatigue. It helps you not to be so tired. They help keep you focused. You want electrolytes. Electrolytes helps that water get into your cells, hydrate your body the way it's supposed to. So yes, drink your water, 100 ounces, 120 ounces. I drink about 120 to 150 a day. And then I also add in electrolytes to help my body use that water. That is an important part of when you're building your fasting lifestyle to stay hydrated. It helps clean out what your body's burning. It helps to detoxify. It helps you stay focused and keep the headaches, things away. And the electrolytes added to that really ensures that you are truly hydrated. You're not just drinking water and peeing it out. It's actually getting into the cells like it should. So make sure you take electrolytes. I do have a couple linked down below that I use every single day. The next thing is in your fasting hours, a lot of people can use something like coffee. You can use black coffee to drink. The caffeine helps with metabolism. It also helps you feel like you're having something different besides just plain water. It's a bitter flavor profile, so it doesn't break a fast. So you can have that. You can have black tea, green tea that's just plain, no extra fruit flavors or extracts or things like that. But that also helps with burning fat. Green tea helps with metabolism. It may help you just not to be hungry. Just that it does. It has that effect. It's an appetite suppressant in it. Green tea and same with black coffee. They help me make it through the day, especially when I'm fasting longer. Green tea sometimes will upset your stomach. I know it upsets mine, especially first thing in the morning. So I try to avoid it. And I'm not much of a tea drinker anyway. Black coffee, plain tea, and water is what you can have during fasting hours. When you train your body to do that, to fast clean, especially if you're just doing the 16 hours. Fasting clean helps your body to adjust to fasting easier and it makes it easier to fast. Your body just adjusts to it. So as an intermittent faster, one of the things that I highly recommend is the clean fast. So like I said, water, coffee, tea, that's it. If you're using electrolytes, make sure they're unflavored. I just believe that the fast is more powerful. And I get this from reading Jen Stevens' book, Fast, Feast, Repeat. She talks about the clean fast and she has so many testimonials from people who fasted clean, and they had better results, less hunger, more healing, more fat loss, and less of a struggle when they're fasting. I've tried both ways. I've fasted clean and I fasted by putting flavored supplements in my fasting window, even though they had no calories, nothing. And fasting clean gives me better results, makes me feel better. I'm a more efficient faster when I fast clean. Now, I follow Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pelz. I am a certified coach, Fast Like a Girl coach. And I also just got her newest book, Eat Like a Girl. These are both great books. I highly recommend both of them. She talks a lot about doing stuff like fasted snacks in your fasting to help extend your fast. My mind on that is I don't use fasted snacks. If someone needs something, a fasted snack, and a fasted snack is like, it's just mainly fat because fat doesn't cause insulin to be released. And it helps people to fast longer. That was the idea of the bulletproof coffee. When that first came out, having fat in your coffee, because that would help you fast longer. Yes, that may help. And it doesn't break a fast because it doesn't raise your insulin. My thought on that is if I'm going to fast, I want the fat that my body's going to burn. I want it to come from my body. I don't want to have it burning the fat from my body with ketosis and then have to stop and burn what I just took in, because it will prioritize the fat that I just took in and it will stop burning the fat from my body and it will start burning the fat from my cup. And I prefer, if my body's going to burn fat, to burn it off my body not from my cup or from my fasted snack. If you need that to begin with, I did start with bulletproof coffee. I did start with putting fat and butter in my coffee, or MCT oil, when I first started my lifestyle to help extend my fasting. But what I found was all it did was make me feel better mentally, maybe, or think that I was doing something that I could sneak in. It was okay. But when I realized my body had to stop burning my own fat and turn to burning fat from my coffee cup, I was like, no, I'm not wasting my fasting hours on that. So if you can push through and if you can really do the clean fast, that's what I suggest you do. That's where you get the most results, especially at the beginning, especially if you have a lot of fat to lose and you really want to dip into this hormone balancing, fat burning, healing, and insulin reducing part of fasting. For if that's what you're looking for, then don't mess with your fast. Don't put anything in there. And I don't suggest that you do. If you have to, then yes, you have that option. It's like a crutch until you can build up and do it on your own, but work to get to the clean fast. It's the best option. Once you fast clean, you won't have the hunger. And as long as you stay hydrated, you're fasting clean, and eventually you're eating in your eating window to support your fast, you will see your hunger will go away. Now, I told you at the beginning, you didn't have to change your diet, and you absolutely don't. There are some people who do not change their diet, and depending on their own individual metabolism, they can still have success. They can lose fat, they can heal, they can do those things. For me, and for my own metabolism, because I was a lifelong dieter, I followed different things, low calorie diets, all these different diets I did, medication. I tried everything. And when I became aware that my body was capable of losing fat, healing itself, clearing out my mind, and having energy all by myself and balancing my hormones, that's when I really dug in and realized that what I do every day, including what I eat, what I choose to eat, supports the health of my body, supports how it runs, supports my metabolic health. Now, you're going to be hearing a lot more in the news. I know I've heard about metabolic health. I'm reading a book by Casey Means, and it is talking about our metabolic health. How can we support that so that our bodies can heal themselves? Because our bodies were so miraculously created from the beginning to be able to survive and to heal themselves. And not only just to survive, but to thrive when we give them the right nutrition, the right environment, and we support and protect what we need to so that they can heal. It's just amazing. It really is. And you will want to start to change your diet. It will become easier to fast when you get highly processed foods, high sugary foods, toxic foods out of your diet. Fasting becomes so simple. It becomes just a habit, a way of life, something you don't even have to think about. I eat my meal or meals, 1 or 2 meals a day. It's just, okay, I'm done eating. I close my window and I fast until the next time that I open my window, lunch the next day, supper the next day, whatever it is. It's become such a way of life and so easy because I've changed my diet to support my fasting lifestyle. So I feast. When I feast so that my fasting is easier. I feast so that when I'm fasting, I can feel and look my best and be my best. So it all goes hand in hand. It's all connected. What you eat absolutely affects how your fast will go and how well it will go and how easy it will go. How you fast, whether you fast clean and depending on how long you fast, that will determine how your body heals and how it does all the things it's supposed to do metabolically. It's all connected. As you do this, you will feel your hormones come into balance. Your insulin will start to balance out. You will be able to dip into fat burning when you're fasting and sugar burning when you're eating. Your body will just switch back and forth. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to switch back and forth. And in our day and age today, where we don't give our bodies enough time to fast, it's continually in sugar burning mode. We always have food. We always have something in our system. We always have something there. We're always drinking something. We're always chewing some gum. We're always sucking on a mint. And our body is sugar burning, sugar burning, sugar burning. It doesn't empty out enough for our body to switch over to, okay, there's no food coming out. I got to switch over to fat burning. It doesn't do that. And that's why we have such an epidemic of people that are overweight, that have fat that they need to lose, have bodies that are unhealthy, and just have metabolic disease. It's because we aren't giving our bodies enough time to heal, to detoxify and clean out what we just ate. And then when you're eating too much and you add in the toxins that are part of our food and the chemicals and the highly processed foods, our body just is in storage mode. It's just storing. It's just storing. It doesn't know what to do with it. It's just storing. We get inflammation. We get fat storage. We feel tired. We feel sluggish. Our brain gets foggy. All these things happen because we aren't giving our body the right balance of fasting and eating and keeping our toxins low, and make sure that we're giving our bodies time to detoxify. But you can do it. And it's so simple. And then once you get into this rhythm, once you get into this cycle and this method of living an intermittent fasting lifestyle, you start to feel like, okay, I'm going to start walking. You start to add in activity every day because you just become healthier. You feel better. You get outside, you get some sun, you get outside into nature. Your whole life starts to change. And I know for me, when I first started fasting, it totally opened up my whole spiritual life. I became more involved in ministry. I became more involved in attending the sacraments, taking part of having daily prayer, daily journaling. I have built a routine, and my fasting lifestyle, that's where it began. It began because it taught me discipline. It taught me how to grow in virtue. It taught me how to deny myself and how to do things even if I didn't want to. I still did it for the purpose of why I was doing it. Even if I didn't feel like it, I didn't let my feelings determine my next step. And that has helped me grow in so many areas. My health is the best it's ever been. My hormones are balanced. I don't deal with hot flashes, the tiredness, the lack of energy, the inflammation. I don't deal with that. I've lost fat. I continue to keep it off since 2017. And my spiritual life has totally taken a whole new dimension because of my fasting lifestyle. That's why I share it here on this channel, because it can change your life, every aspect of our life. We're all connected, body, soul, and mind. And when we start to implement fasting, a tool that God gave us, into every area of our life, we can do things we never thought. And dieting becomes something of the past because it's just a fad that isn't long term. And it's something, if you're going to get into that mindset of dieting, you're going to do it over and over and over again, because success doesn't come from dieting. That's what I have for you today. If you have any questions, leave them below. I always love to hear your comments, what you're thinking, what you got out of this video. Leave it below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share out this video. I'm trying to build this channel because I want to reach more women and give them the opportunity to turn their health, their life, their hope around. So make sure you do that, and I will see you in the next video.